Here is the exact strategy for how to grow quickly on TikTok, even if you're starting from zero. And no, it is not too late. But make sure you stay until the end. That way you can find out some of the most common mistakes that are keeping creators stuck at 200 views. Now, this might surprise you, but the first step to growing on TikTok is not creating content. If you want to be successful on TikTok, then the first step is actually to study the platform and understand how TikTok works. What types of content are performing well? What topics are popular or trending in your niche? If you don't understand these things, you're going to have a very hard time getting more than 200 views on TikTok. But how do you study TikTok? The answer is that you need to stop scrolling mindlessly and you need to start scrolling strategically and analyzing what's happening on your For You page. That's the difference between the amateurs and the full-time content creators that are making a living from their content. When successful creators open the app, they're being intentional with how they consume the content and studying the things that are coming up on their feed. And if you want to develop the skill, you need to be consuming videos in your niche and you need to be asking yourself questions like, what content is grabbing my attention? What about a video makes me want to save it to watch it later? What are creators doing in their videos that are making me want to keep watching? And at what point am I losing interest in a video and wanting to swipe off? And why is that happening? What is it about videos that makes you want to scroll past them? And what is it about other videos that makes you want to share them with other people? And what is it about the creators that you keep watching repeatedly that makes you want to follow them? I would also be paying attention to certain trending sounds or hooks that keep coming up repeatedly because these are things you should probably be creating content around. And so if you want to be successful with this TikTok creator thing, then you need to be spending at least 10 to 15 minutes every single day asking yourself these questions as you're scrolling through the feed. And I would actually recommend that you have two different TikTok accounts, one for your business and one for fun. That's where you do all your mindless scrolling. And no, having two different TikTok accounts on the same device will not impact the performance of your videos at all. I have a bunch of accounts on mine. In fact, by having an account that is solely dedicated to your business where you are optimizing that For You page for your niche content, you're actually going to improve the performance of your videos and you're going to make it a lot easier for you to research and create content. As you start to study the platform regularly, you're going to have a much better idea of what works, which is going to make it easier for you to go viral and you're going to start getting a ton of ideas. So later in this video, I'm actually going to teach you how to start organizing your ideas and planning out your content. But first, let's actually optimize your profile so that way you can get followers. I know you want to start posting on TikTok, but you cannot skip this step. One of the more frustrating things that creators deal with is they start posting too soon, and then if they're lucky enough to start getting views, they aren't getting followers. And it's even worse if they happen to go viral and they get 2 million views and they have no followers to show for it. And this happens because there's a disconnect between your videos and your profile. And so it's really important that you understand how to set up your profile before you start posting. And the goal here is that if somebody discovers you from one of your videos and they go to your profile, you want to be able to convince them to follow you at a glance. So let's break it down so you understand the different parts of your profile. That way you can increase the percentage of people that actually follow you after they discover your page. So the key parts of your profile are going to be your profile picture, your username, your name, your bio, and the link. Now, your profile photo and your username kind of go together and they should be portraying who you are and what it is that you want to be known for. So if I was creating a weight loss account on TikTok, I might want to have a username like Get Fit with Mike. And then for my profile photo, I would not want to be rocking this dad bod. I would probably want to have a picture showing me looking like what my ideal clients want to look like after working with me. The important thing here is to make sure that your face is visible. That way, when they come from seeing you in the video to seeing your profile, they know they are in the right place. And don't overthink this. If you can't come up with a username, you can always change it later. So I would recommend just starting with your name. Personal brands tend to do better than brand brands anyway, so it's not a bad move. Next is your name, and this is different from your username. It's the thing at the top of your profile. The account name is also more important than you think because it is another opportunity for people to discover you. And the reason for this is because your account names are actually searchable. So if somebody goes on TikTok and types fitness coach into search and then they scroll over to users, they are going to be able to find all of the people that have fitness coach in the account name. So I want you to take some time to think about all of the terms that you could possibly use to get discovered in search. It might be business coach or book talk or healthy recipes. This isn't a huge thing, but if you were really trying to optimize your profile as much as possible, then it doesn't hurt to put one of these search terms in your account name. Next, let's talk about your bio. You only get 80 characters here, but this is probably the most impactful thing that will determine whether someone follows your account. And the biggest thing that you want to avoid here is making the bio about you instead of about how you can help other people. For example, if you are a business coach, do not write 10-figure CEO, proud dad of 15 wonderful kids, and homegrown tomato enthusiast, because there's a lot to be confused about there. Instead, think about what is the value that somebody is going to get from your account if they hit that follow button. It would be much better if you used your bio to write things like learn how to grow on TikTok, daily sci-fi and fantasy book reviews, or how to lose weight without doing cardio. All of those things are pretty simple, and when somebody sees them, they're going to know exactly what they're going to get from following you and watching your videos. All we want to do here is make it crystal clear what somebody is going to get out of watching your content so we can increase the chances that they actually follow you. Then finally, when you hit 1,000 followers on TikTok, you get that magical link in bio. bio. And if you want to turn TikTok into a full-time thing, be a full-time content creator, then you need to take advantage of this link to use a freebie to grow your email list and maybe sell like a digital product or something. And I cannot emphasize the importance of starting an email list right from the beginning as a content creator, because this is where the money is. The people that are crushing it as full-time content creators aren't making all or even most of their money from the creativity program. They are doing it because they are growing an email list and they are using it to sell things to those people. And just to emphasize how big of an opportunity this is, I want to tell you the story about my client Jared. When he started posting on TikTok, his like 5th video went viral. And luckily we had taken the time to create a freebie that would help people with the problem that his content was helping with, and they could get it in exchange for an email. And so when his video went viral, he started getting thousands of people joining his email list. And then he started using that email list to book people on calls and sell his coaching program. So in his first month on TikTok, he went from making $20,000 as a coach to making $75,000. And the next month he made over $100,000. But he would have had no way to turn those views into income if he had not started his email list. So you need to start doing this right from the beginning, and there's a lot that goes into it. So what I want you to do, I'm just going to point you to this video, and I actually created about the possible TikTok ban and the things that you should do to protect yourself. But the 3 things I talk about in that video are really important for new creators, and everyone should be doing them no matter what. And in that video, I talk about how you can start building your email list, and you can actually create a weekly newsletter that isn't going to take a lot of time, but is going to allow you to make more money from your content. Now, if we want to talk about how to grow on TikTok, we really can't have that conversation without talking about picking a niche. And I get it, because when I was getting started, I was watching all the videos from all of the gurus, trying to figure out all of the things so I could grow as quickly as possible. And everybody talked about picking a niche, and it started to drive me crazy. But the reason that everybody talks about it is because picking a niche will help you grow faster. Now you might be thinking, do I really need to pick a niche? And no, you don't, but it will definitely make life a heck of a lot easier. Let me explain. If you are a fitness coach and all of your content is about weight loss and what you should eat and what kind of exercise you should do and all of the things, then it's going to be very easy for the TikTok algorithm to figure out that you are a fitness coach and that your content is for people that want to lose weight. And that means that TikTok is going to be able to show your videos to the right kind of people that are going to watch your video for a very long time, which means you're going to get a lot more views and people are going to follow you and buy from you. So I do recommend picking a niche, but I think that there's a lot of confusion on TikTok because people don't clarify what it means to niche down, or they explain it wrong, or the biggest part is that they fail to distinguish between the different types of accounts. The way you choose your niche is very different if you are a business or an educator selling digital products and coaching and things of that nature compared to an entertainer. So if you are hearing advice like, you don't need to niche down, you are the niche, you need to become the niche, that's good advice if you are an entertainment-based account. If you are an influencer, you should become the niche, because your goal is to get people to fall in love with you and watch every single piece of content that you put out so you can get the most views from the most loyal people so you can sell affiliate products and get bigger sponsorships. But if you are a business owner like me and you are creating educational content, you need to niche down. Becoming the niche is horrible advice. Because if you want to be successful, you have to become known for something. Because we want the people watching your content to view you as the authority at solving a particular problem, so that way they are more likely to hire you or buy from you. And so if you are one of these educational creators, business owners, I want you to throw out everything that you know about choosing a niche and use this framework. We are not going to figure out what your topic is and then choose a subtopic and then a subtopic of a subtopic of a subtopic to niche down as small as possible so we can be the big fish in this infinitely tiny pond. We want a big pond with lots of fish to buy our stuff and watch our videos. Instead, I want you to figure out what it is that you want to be known for. What is the problem that you solve for people? Because a niche is the problem that you solve plus your unique perspective and personality. My niche is TikTok growth, but I am not the only person that helps people that are struggling to get views get more views and followers. The reason that people follow me is because of my unique perspective and personality, because of the way that I create videos, and because you like them. You like me for whatever reason. And that's what allows you to stand out and fish in a big pond. And so the way that you implement this is after you figure out the problem that you solve, you just need to figure out who is the person that has that problem. What are the things that they're experiencing, the obstacles that they need to overcome? Like, why are they stuck? What do they need to do in order to get the result? What are like the symptoms that they're experiencing that are being caused by that problem? It becomes so much easier to create content when you start thinking about who the content is for and then try to provide as as much value as possible. And then when you're creating that content, just lean into your personality quirks, even turn them up a notch to make them even more obvious, so that way people get to know you a little bit. Now, I go way more in depth on this in this video, so you can check it out if you want to do more, but here's the important thing. If you're not 100% sure what your niche is about right now, don't worry about it. Just start posting. You are going to figure it out as you go. You're going to figure out what those topics are. You're going to figure out from your audience feedback what they want to know more about, and you're going to figure out what your style is. You need to remove the pressure of trying to do everything perfect at the start. Now, if you already have a TikTok account, but you're watching this video because you want to start taking it seriously, you want to grow on TikTok, try and make this a full-time thing, you're probably thinking to yourself, do I need to start a new account? So here's what you need to know. If you are changing niches, if you have not posted in a really long time, if you are just posting random things on your account, or if you've just been using your account for just like fun and just mindless scrolling, then you need to start over. Even if you already have a few thousand followers, it is better for you to start a brand new TikTok account. Your current followers are just not going to engage with the new content that you're creating, and it's going to have a negative impact on your views. So start fresh and make sure that the algorithm is showing your content to the right people. And one of the easiest ways to do this is to optimize your For You page to make sure that it's filled up with nothing but other creators in your niche. So what I want you to do is get that new account, start doing some research, follow 10 to 15 other creators that are in your niche, and then start going through, looking at their content, liking, engaging with their content, and go to your For You page. Spend about 5 minutes scrolling through your feed. Anybody that is not in your niche, make sure that you say, I'm not interested in those videos. And then the people that are in your niche, make sure that you like and watch those videos for a little while to kind of indicate, this is what I want on my For You page. Then exit out of the app, come back in, start scrolling again, repeat the process until it seems like every single video that shows up on your For You page are people in your niche. I want you to keep doing this, actively engaging in your feed with the people that are in your niche, watching their videos, commenting, liking, just showing the algorithm that like you're a real person interested in this space and you aren't a spammer. It's going to have a big impact on your performance once you start posting. The last thing that we want to do before we start posting on TikTok is fix your account settings. And this can be the difference between major views and getting really low views, because we want to make sure that we have the settings set up appropriately to help TikTok show our content to the right people. And specifically, we want to make sure that our content is not being shown to our friends, our grandma, and all of our contacts, instead of being shown to our ideal viewers. So let me show you how to do it. The first thing we're going to do is go to the top, that menu on the top right. Like I said, this is super important. Go to your settings and privacy, okay? We're going to go to privacy. We don't want a private account, but we're going to go to this suggest your account to others, okay? And we are going to turn off contacts, Facebook friends, mutual connections, and people you send links to. We're going to turn all of that off because anybody we communicate with, we don't necessarily want them to get our content. They might discover our content eventually. That's totally fine. But right now, we're trying to do everything we can to give ourselves a fighting chance to go viral early and grow quickly, okay? Next thing, sync Facebook friends. Okay, that's already turned off, so that's great. And we can scroll down, we can look here. I want duet, everyone, stitch, everyone. Videos liked, only me. Profile views off, all good, okay? So that's what we're gonna have there. And also, this is important. Go to your account and you're gonna see here, the third one down, it says switch to business account. Do not do this, okay? Even if you are a business owner like I am and you're creating your brand, you're creating your content to impact people, sell courses, coaching, agency services, freelance services, e-com, whatever it is, don't switch to a business account. It is really important that you use a personal account if you want to grow on TikTok, because personal accounts allow us to use trending sounds, and we need those trending sounds as part of our content strategy to grow and monetize on TikTok. Now, the platform has changed a ton. It's not like back in the day where you just post wherever you want and go viral and grow. We are going to use trending sounds, but that is only one of 3 different types of content that we are going to use. The first is evergreen content, the second is viral content, and the third is depth content. Evergreen content is your search-friendly content. It's the stuff that's not reliant on the current trends or the trending sounds. It's that how-to content that's based on keywords and SEO and the commonly asked questions that your viewers have. Evergreen content is something that you can record today and you can post it a week from now, a month from now, maybe even a year from now, and it still be relevant to your audience. Take this video, for example. What I'm teaching you about how to grow on TikTok is still going to be relevant months from now, and that's what makes it evergreen. This is going to be your core content because it gives so much value to your audience. It's going to help them solve the problems that they're struggling with, and it's going to allow you to show up in search and get discovered by new people. So here's a couple of ways that you can find these search-friendly topics. First, you can actually go on TikTok and search for keywords related to your niche and just look at all the videos that have already been created. And then as you're scrolling, make sure you pay attention to the section that says other people searched for, because this is TikTok telling you exactly what people are looking for on the platform, and so you want to make videos about those topics. TikTok also just rolled out this new search insights tool that came with the new monetization program, which I'm going to explain in a little bit. This tool is brand new. There's a lot of kinks that need to be worked out, but it's going to become very powerful in the future. It actually is going going to tell you what kind of content people are searching for that's related to the type of videos that you create, and it's going to show you what your actual followers are searching for. That way you can find other relevant topics to create videos on. You can also use other search engines to find evergreen content ideas. I personally like to use YouTube paired with keywords everywhere because I can figure out some different topics in my niche that have really high search volumes, and I know that if people are searching for them on YouTube, they're probably searching for the same things on TikTok as well. And probably the best way to come up with evergreen content ideas is just to pay attention to the questions people are asking in the comments of your videos. The chances are that if somebody asked a question in your comments, and there's probably a couple dozen people that have the exact same question but just didn't ask it. So make note of the things that keep coming up and make videos on them. Next, we have our viral content. These are your trends, their growth opportunities. It's about getting discovered by a new audience so they can go down the rabbit hole and binge all of your evergreen content. One of the easiest ways to keep up with the current trends and get viral content ideas is to follow trend creators. These creators are posting new trending sounds every single day, and a lot of times they're giving you instruction about how to use the sound, how the trend works, what you need to do, the type of video you should create, type of words that you should put on there, and you can actually click on those sounds and then go in and see examples of people that have already created these videos. An even better way to find viral content is to just scroll through your For You page or look at your favorite creators and look for videos that have abnormally high engagement or views compared to what that creator normally gets. I call this gateway content because if they've had success for it, you know that it is an opportunity for you to have success with it as well. And as you're scrolling through the FYP and you're doing your 10 to 15 minutes of like intentional content research and study every single day, I want you to keep an eye out for the sounds, the formats, and the hooks that just keep coming up over and over. And pay special attention to the short videos with the text on screen. Not only are these videos easy to create, but they have massive viral potential. Finally, we have depth content. These are the videos that build a loyal audience and allow people to get to know you. You do it by sharing behind the scenes, telling stories, and creating that impulse content when inspiration strikes. Depth content isn't always going to get the big views, and that's okay. Not every video that you create is meant to go viral, and different types of content have a different purpose to help you grow and monetize your account. So we really want to be creating a solid mix of all of these content types. Okay, now that we're talking about content, we need to get organized so that way we can stay consistent and grow long term. And there are lots of ways to do this. You have to figure out what it is that works for you. Some people like to build out a full content calendar and keep all their content ideas organized on their computer, and that's exactly what I do for YouTube, but it's not what I do for TikTok. I actually like to build out collections and do everything on TikTok right from my phone. And so the way I do this is I create two main collections. The first one I call ideas, and the second one I call hooks. The ideas collection is where I store all of my short form content inspiration. It's going to be the videos that have the text on screen and the trending audios. I just stick them into the ideas collection, and then when I'm ready to go create a video, I look through those and figure out which one do I want to make my version of. Inside of my hooks collection, I'm going to put my evergreen content inspiration. So if I see somebody that has a really good title for a video, a really good video idea, or has an excellent hook at the start of their video, I'm going to go ahead and save it into that collection. That way I can get inspiration when it's time for me to create. It's also important that when you are saving your viral content to your ideas collection, that you're only using videos that are recent outliers or recent gateway videos. Because generally that stuff, if you want to hop on the trend, it needs to be an active trend. Once it dies down, you're not going to get the big views from it. But older content with massive views can work for your evergreen content because it's evergreen. I also like to keep a running list of ideas on my phone for just questions people are asking in the comments or random ideas that I have that I might want to create videos on, and I just use a regular old to-do list app to do that. I also think it's a good practice to record B-roll content of you doing regular everyday activities whenever you have a chance. That way you can have a store of video that you can use for your 7-second videos with the text on screen. If you just start building up a B-roll folder on your phone, it's going to make content creation so much easier. Finally, when I'm creating content, I always try to keep at least one video in my drafts. That way, if something comes up the next day, I have something ready to post and I can stay consistent. Which brings me to something really important. You do not need to post 3 to 5 times per day in order to grow on TikTok. In fact, it is better if you post at a lower frequency, even if you're posting multiple videos per day. We all go through these waves as creators where we have a ton of energy and feel like we can create an infinite number of videos. And even on the days where I'm able to create 5, 6, 7, 9 videos, I don't post all of them. I try to save them and string them out over time so that way I can stay consistent and post every single day without fail. And you've probably gotten tired of hearing the advice that consistency is so important to grow on TikTok, but it is more important than you realize. TikTok recently released some documentation explaining how the algorithm works. And one of the interesting things that they shared was that the longer a creator can go and post consistently without missing a day, the more weight they give to the content, meaning the more or views they will give that creator as a baseline. So being consistent and posting every single day without missing will actually get you more views over time. TikTok also said that they want more quality content instead of quantity, and they recommended only posting 1 to 4 times per day. And then TikTok reinforced this position when they announced their new creator rewards program, which pays you a share of ad revenue. While explaining how the program works, TikTok said that quality is more important than quantity, and that you will no longer be able to increase your earnings by increasing the frequency with which you post. So now that we've talked about frequency, what about posting times? Do they actually matter? No, they don't. Your posting time has such a minimal impact on the amount of views that you get from your content. Obviously, posting at 4 a.m. when everybody in your country is sleeping is going to result in you getting some lower views. But as long as you're posting at regular times during the day, it should have no impact on your views. I recommend posting at like 12 p.m., 4 p.m., or 7 p.m. just because those might be times that people are on their phones scrolling, looking at content, but mainly just to be an accountability tool. I found that if you choose a time that you post every single day, you're more likely to show up and stay consistent. Unlike posting times, video length does matter for both growth and monetization. But what is the optimal video length? Well, it depends. The best video length is really going to vary from niche to niche, and it's going to vary based on your audience versus another audience. The reality is that you should be creating a variety of content at different video lengths, and the length of the video is going to depend on the type of content that you're creating. A lot of your viral content is going to be that 5 to 8 second content, but your evergreen content might be 30 seconds long, or it might be over a minute. But don't buy into the belief that TikTok is only pushing content over 1 minute long, because it's not true. You're only going to be able to get paid a share of ad revenue for videos that are over a minute long, but that doesn't mean that shorter videos can't perform really well. It's important to understand the purpose of every video that you create. Some videos are for growth, some videos are for monetization, some videos are for lead generation. And a lot of times that shorter content allows you to get more views and more eyeballs on your content, which helps your longer form content perform better. And I've had 5 to 8 second videos that generate way more leads for my business than long form videos. So mix it up, try all of it, find what works for you. And if you're also a YouTube creator, make sure that you're testing out landscape video. These videos can't be monetized, but TikTok has a feature called the Video Views Booster, and they will actually push your video to a lot more people and give you a bunch of free views if you post landscape video. And if you want to know all the details about it, you can watch this video once you finish here. Now, I haven't mentioned hashtag strategy yet because it has such a minimal impact on your views. Just keep it simple. Just use hashtags that are relevant to the topic of the video, and then don't use irrelevant hashtags like hashtag FYP because they do absolutely nothing for you. You only need 4 to 6 hashtags on your video max. Now, you can go on TikTok and search relevant keywords in your niche and then switch over to hashtags, and you'll have a big list there, and you can start building out a bank of hashtags you can use on your videos. Or you can just go look at other successful creators and see what hashtags they are using on their videos and just borrow some of those. Don't sweat this too much because hashtags are going to have a very minimal impact on your views, and they certainly aren't going to make you go viral. What really determines how many views you get and whether you go viral is how much watch time your video is getting. Watch time is king, and if you're stuck in 200 view jail, it's because you aren't getting enough watch time on your videos. I promise you, you aren't shadow banned, you just need to create better content. The way the algorithm works is by showing your content to a sample audience of around 200 people. Then your video is going to be compared to similar content, and whichever videos have the highest watch time are going to get the most views. And TikTok is doing this because they want their viewers to see the video that they are going to enjoy the most and that they are most likely to watch for a long time and stay on the platform. But there is actually a second part to the algorithm beyond the sample audience. It's called the checkpoint system. But before I get into that, I just want to say really quickly, if you aren't even getting 200 views, if you are stuck at 0 views or you're getting 10 views, 15 views, something like that, there's a really good chance that you violated a policy and you have been banned. TikTok does not kick you off the platform. They still allow you to watch videos. They still allow you to post content. They just aren't going to show it on the For You feed anymore. So if you're running into that issue, it's time to start over with a new account. Okay, about that checkpoint system. In the same way that your videos are shown to 200 people to gather data and see how it performs, this is going to happen at different levels. It's going to happen at 1,000 views, 5,000 views, 10,000, 100,000, a million. And so what TikTok is going to do is it's going to keep showing your video to as many people as possible until it stops outperforming other videos. And this is why we see videos that will take off and then suddenly stop at 10,000 views or 50,000 views. It's because they pushed your video as far as it would go before it got beat out by other content. So putting all this together, if you were stuck at 200 views or you're stuck at 500 views or 1,000 views or wherever that plateau is that you are stuck at right now, there's one of two things that are happening. Either TikTok is not showing your content to the right people, and so therefore they aren't watching your videos because they're not interested in them, or your content is just not holding people's attention, so they're not watching it very long. So in order to fix those problems, you either need to be more consistent with the topic that you post your videos about, so TikTok actually knows what your content's about and who to show it to give you the maximum views, or you need to come up with better content ideas or learn some basic retention techniques in order to increase your watch time. If you're dealing with this problem and you really want to learn how to make the algorithm love you so you can get more views, then you're going to want to watch the video I have linked in the card above after you finish this video. I'm also going to share a couple of strategies here in a minute that are going to increase your views when I share like the the common mistakes that people are making on TikTok. But first, I want to talk to you about TikTok monetization. TikTok has rolled out a new monetization program called the TikTok Creator Rewards Program. This is replacing the TikTok Creativity Beta program and is designed to help give more ad revenue to the creators. The program still requires you to have 10,000 followers and at least 100,000 views in the last 30 days. And only videos over 1 minute in length are going to be eligible for monetization. But the way that the payouts are calculated has changed drastically. I have an entire video that goes into all the nitty-gritty details about the new Creator Rewards program that you can watch linked above, but I'm going to give you the highlights here. The Creator Rewards program has something called the Optimize Rewards formula, and it has 4 key metrics that determine how much you're going to get paid. The first requirement is that it has to be your own original content. The next metric is play duration, which is defined as watch time plus finish rate. So in order to earn the most possible under the rewards program, you're going to have to find the video length that gets you the best play duration, which means that people are watching as long as possible but still finishing the video. Next, we have audience engagement and search value. The search value one is actually very interesting because you're actually going to get paid more by creating videos on topics that have a high search volume but don't have a lot of videos. Now, if you want to pull all of this together, grow a following, and become a full-time creator on TikTok, then there's a couple of mistakes that you absolutely need to avoid. The first mistake is not being consistent as a TikTok creator. I've already explained how posting consistently every day for a long period of time can actually lead to increased views on your account. And so you want to make sure that you're doing everything in your power to show up every day. One of the best strategies I can share with you to post consistently is to set minimum and maximum targets for how much content you're creating every day. One of the biggest things that creators deal with is that they just put so much pressure on themselves. And so if they decide I'm going to post 3 times a day, then when they miss that, they get real upset and they just spin out of control. So by creating a target range where you're going to create at least 1 and maybe 3 to 4 videos per day, it allows you to have that flexibility to make it easier to stay consistent. And then what you want to do is on the days that you create more, you want to save some of them for the days that emergencies come up or you just really aren't feeling like creating content. And it's not just about consistency of posting, it's also about consistency of topic. If you aren't creating videos about these same topics for these same people, you aren't going to get big views because TikTok isn't going to know who to show your content to. The next biggest mistake you can make is blaming the algorithm. If you want to be a full-time content creator, you need to take complete responsibility for all of the results that you get. The algorithm is not out to get you. You just need to create better content. And one of the things that I love about TikTok is that your views are basically like a score that objectively tells you how good your videos are and how interested people are in that content idea. And so if you can move from the mindset of looking at like, well, that person posted the same video I did and got 10,000 views, but I only got 200 views. What the heck is happening to me? And instead look at it as like, okay, what did that person do better than I did so I can improve? That's when you're going to be really successful. And if you can't make that mindset shift, like you're not going to hang. Next, stop deleting your videos. There are so many problems with deleting videos. The first one is that every time you delete a video, you are removing a piece of data that the algorithm could be using to figure out what it is that your content is about and who they should be showing the content to so you could get more views. You're not going to get a lot of views when you first start out because your content isn't going to be as good as other people's and the algorithm doesn't know who your content is for yet. And when you delete that video, you're making it harder to be successful. Another reason you shouldn't delete the video is because sometimes these videos get delayed views and they might stop at 200 or 500 views and not get any views for days or even until 2 weeks later and then suddenly take off and go viral. And probably the most important reason is that if you are deleting every bad video that you have and you're that wrapped up in the views, you run the risk of looking like a spammer to the algorithm, and then they aren't going to show your videos to anybody. So stop deleting your videos, leave them there. That way you can go back and look at them and compare them to your best videos. Which leads me to the next mistake, which is not studying your video performance. You aren't going to learn a ton from your videos that get 200 views, but you are going to learn a lot from your videos that do well, and by comparing them to the other videos to figure out how you can improve them and make more winning videos. And so I would recommend setting aside some time at least once a month to study all of your videos, figure out what is working well and how you can do more of that. Another mistake is not adding auto captions to every single evergreen video that you create. You don't have to have the big fancy bold captions. Just hit that auto captions button. That way people have the ability to read what it is that you're saying when they don't have the ability to listen to your video. And another mistake that just blows my mind is not replying to comments. Like, replying to comments is one of the absolute best things that you can do for your account. Not only does it create community because you are engaging with the people that are watching your videos and answering their questions and providing extra value, but when you reply to comments, especially when you reply with questions to get people to engage in conversations, you're creating more engagement and you are creating more watch time as the video plays as people are typing. And that's going to help your videos get more views. And when you are replying to every comment, people realize it and they were more likely to start asking questions, which is going to help you develop better content ideas, which once again means more views. Now, if you want to know the exact process I used to go from 0 to 10,000 followers on TikTok in under 60 days, then I want you to watch this video next. These step-by-step walkthroughs that I share on my phone are exactly what you need to jumpstart your account.